Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. Bueno, the Relationship Essentials Conference is an upcoming event focused on bringing awareness and equipping one with the right skills and tools to improve their relationships. With a panel of some of the best speakers and Christian influencers, the Relationship Essentials Conference is sure to be a day of spiritual enrichment covering topics from marriage, dating, the sometimes, hidden discussion of domestic abuse, healing, and more. And here to share more is Relationship Essentials founder and CEO, Pastor Samuel Nkama, and COO and producer, Juliet Amoah.
That was good.
I
That was
did it. Everybody was like, we were all on pins and needles.
I was like, good job, good job. You nailed it.
I appreciate you helping me convey that to the viewers because I'm sure they saw it on my face. I'm like, I'm going to say it right. Yeah, I got it. Yes.
You got it.
All right, but welcome,
Oh,
welcome.
thank you. Thank you
welcome.
so much.
This is exciting.
Yes.
This is very exciting.
Thanks for having us.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely. And thank you for facilitating this. So let's talk about the first time you came up with this idea.
So for me, when we started Relationship Essentials, the goal was, when you look at the family structure is a little broken. And our goal was to create a program that will strengthen the family, because everybody comes from a family. And most people, when our lives is going to reflect the type of family we came from. Like if you look at the statistics, kids that grow up in a family that is broken often become broken themselves. So you look at like obesity, prison, teenage pregnancy, drug abuse, school dropouts. The likelihood of a child going through those, horrible experience skyrockets when he or she comes from a family that is broken. So our goal was to kind of strengthen and rebuild the family structure. But the family is made up of an individual.
Right.
So even though we're trying to fix the family, we focus on helping the individual become better, because a better we starts with a better me.
Nice. I like that. I like that. That's so profound, everything you just shared. And I'm like, okay, hold on, everybody. We got to take that in. We got to absorb that. No, because it's real. It's real because we're talking about normalizing a situation that it's just isn't a matter of fact, because those are the circumstances. And so how do you tap into something like that without making them wrong? Without like making them like feel any less.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I think the easiest way to look at it is this way. I think everybody, no matter where they're from, desires the same thing, like success and love. We all want to be loved. When you look at the psychological aspect of things, every human being on earth wants to love and wants to be loved. So it doesn't matter what language we speak. And whenever we don't feel loved, we do things to hurt ourselves and we do things to hurt other people. So one is to let them realize or create a safe space where people realize, hey, what I need is what everybody else needs. And my dysfunctional behavior is just because I didn't get what I needed. You
Right.
know?
And even in the love, it could kind of be dysfunctional.
Yes.
The toxic.
Right. We started with that. Juliet, let me introduce you to everyone. Juliet. I know.
We dived right into it. You just segued right into it. I love it.
Yes. But since you brought it up, let's talk about that, because that's something that I want to say that a lot of people are even unaware of, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to just say it. I'm a domestic violence survivor.
Wow.
And I've been advocating for it, but my form of survivorship came from psychological, right? So everybody thinks it only comes in the form of physical, but when you're...
It's even worse.
Right. But you know what? I didn't even know I was in one.
Wow.
Until I did a show and I portrayed a character, and that character that I was portraying taught me the signs to look for.
Wow.
Yes, it's incredible. Because I think it affects your brain.
Yeah.
I think trauma affects the way you think, the way you see the world. So I think, I'm not sure if you wanted to touch on that.
No,
but-
that's true. I mean, what Sam was saying about like just the family structure too, because I feel like you don't realize like when you grow up, there's certain things that you see and there's certain experiences or a lack of love that when you get older, you start to crave for certain things or you engage in certain activities and then you realize like, why am I doing this? Why am I allowing this, right? So it's like if we don't really rebuild people up from the start, it's just going to become a cycle of toxic behavior, right? And I think the fact that you're even able to, you know, do that self-assessment. A lot of people don't do that, especially in the Christian space, right? Like there's so many topics that I think we'd like to shy away from as taboo, but it's like people are really going through that. So being able to create that space where we can have these kind of tough conversations and actually bring the healing that can help the next generation.
Right, and that's what I mean, the misconception of love,
Yeah.
right? And it presents itself in a certain manner
Yes.
based on what you're normalizing,
Exactly.
which is what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
So in your panel discussions, I know this is, I mean, you go as far as even going into sexual relationships,
Yes.
which that within
They need
itself
to-
is
they need to talk
amazing.
about it.
Everybody loves
They-
sex.
yes, they
Everybody
talk
loves
about
sex.
it.
Everybody loves
How did you
talking
get
about
here?
sex.
Right, well, keeping it real, but I'm saying under a Christian umbrella. I'm
Yeah.
saying, you know,
Yes, yes.
But that's
Yes.
essentially what we're trying to do, where the church tend to shy away from having sexual conversations. But the truth is a biological thing.
Yeah.
Like you don't decide that you are going to get horny.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a biological thing. But understanding how to deal with it matters, right? So one of the things that I talk about, especially with family and stuff, is to realize like everything is about worldview, right? So you said someone could be in an abusive place and not know they're in an abusive space. Because if I give you a blue lens, everything that you're going to see is blue. Even though the reality is not blue, what you're seeing is what your lens tells you it is. So our goal, because trauma, the real definition of trauma is anything that affects the way you see people, the way you see yourself, and the way you see God. And if we really go through that definition, then we all, to some extent, have been traumatized. And we have to be very careful to make sure that we're not living our lives from a place of our trauma, but from a place of a healed place, where we don't have wounds that we are bleeding on people, but those wounds become scars that we can learn from and help the next generation build better.
Right, and you just made a beautiful segue for me to say you have to remain open.
Hey,
Because that's the fact of
Exactly.
life.
Yeah.
Remain a
Yeah.
student of life.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the only way you can do that is to be coachable, to be willing
Yes.
to absorb and explore something new. And so how do you, right, through this
Program.
conference, right, how do you enroll people to understand that they really need to come in with an open mind?
Yeah.
Girl, you can answer this one. I know.
I'm like-
The pastor has all the
I'm like,
answers.
come on,
I'm like,
Pastor. No, but I think it's great. And honestly speaking, I think one thing I've realized is like we can all say that we have friends or family members or people that we know that are going through stuff, right? And it's always nice to be like, oh, let me give you advice. But then what? Right? Like, what am I actually giving you? Like, what am I actually going to be able to provide you with that can actually help you, right? And so we wanted to create a conference that was not just about like, oh, dating, relationships, and marriage. Like, oh, I want to get married. Like, what are the real things inside you that you need to pull out? What are some of the things that we've been talking about, the strongholds? What are some of the spiritual warfares that you have dealt with that really need to come out? So it's almost like, it's like a therapeutic day. Like it's a real day of healing and therapy and spiritual, like, you know, alignment and awakening. And I think that another thing that people should expect is also just hearing from some great, well-vested speakers who know what they're talking about, who can actually pray for you, who can actually give you the counseling, who can also give you, and therapy is another thing. I know Christians do a little therapy, but like being able to provide all the right tools in one space, that's like, come on, you know what I mean? That's a jam-packed, like,
it
yeah.
sounds it. So how many hours are we talking?
So it's gonna be from like 10 a.m. to like 6 p.m. It's gonna
a
be like a
full
whole
day.
day.
Full
A
But you
day.
whole
get, but you get breaks in between.
No,
Oh,
you
yes,
get
yes.
breaks, you
There's
get-
food.
You get food, you get
Music.
drinks. So
There's gonna be a whole
like,
vibe.
the day flies at
Yeah.
these events, right?
Yeah.
And I also think part of what allows people to come in is the fact that I think sometimes when you go through life, you think you're the only one going through it.
Yeah, that's good.
Right? Like when you're depressed, you think something is wrong with me. Or when you go through broken relationship after broken relationship, it's very easy for you to start looking at yourself as the problem. One of the things that we do is we bring people, a lot of the people that are coming out for the conference, they are like friends, or they are people that we've kind of like built a relationship with. They have similar stories. They've been through life. They've been through brokenness. They've been through this. So you get to see yourself in them, just that they've overcome, and they could show you the path that they used to overcome.
It's more than they've been through brokenness, because I think everybody deals with
Yes.
brokenness. It's the awareness
Yes.
of the brokenness
Yes.
and the acceptance and the self-embracing
Yes.
in just understanding that you had to go through that to get to where you
Yeah.
are. But first you have to even know it's there.
Exactly. And I think that community is big. Like, even if you're coming by yourself and you're like, I don't know anyone, like, you're going to gain a whole group of friends and people that are also going through similar things that you could also, like, you know, attach to and get, you know, a good network. So you're not going to be by yourself.
Right. I can feel it anyway, energetically. Like, it's very welcoming
Yeah.
and safe, right?
And
Yes.
safe,
And that's
yeah.
important. And we did discuss spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you know, some people may even be unaware of that. I
Yeah.
mean, most people are actually
Yeah.
walking around unaware
Yeah.
of it, but it exists. It's there,
Yeah.
right? And so before we go, just share with us what that looks like within the conference.
All right, so what I always encourage people to do in their own life and how they judge their relationships is you don't judge things by how you feel. You judge them by the fruits you've produced. So if you look at your life and you ask yourself, am I having the type of relationship that I would like to have? Is my marriage the way I would want it to be? Is my romantic life as fruitful and harmonious as I would want it to be? If you look at the life that you have and you are not happy with it, it doesn't mean you are bad. It just means it's time to do something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Our goal is to help you kind of create the life that we know you want. Everybody wants it. So at the conference, it's going to be a day like Ms. Juliet already talked about. It's going to be a day where we get to help you identify those strongholds or those things that is hindering you from living out your best love life, but most importantly also equip you with the skills and the community system to help kind of go on that journey of healing, go on that journey of deliverance, go on that journey of kind of learning how to be by yourself, learning how to enjoy your single season, or learning how to like know who to pick. Because a lot of people pick wrong when they're picking their relationships. So knowing who to pick, how to pick, and when you finally pick the person, having the skills. It takes skills to make a relationship work, not
Right.
love.
Right.
Love is not enough.
Right.
So we also equip you with the skills that you need to build the relationship that you're dreaming about.
I love this. Oh my gosh. Preach, Pastor. Preach. All right. I mean, who doesn't want
Where's
to
the
talk about
offering?
this?
Where's the offering?
Oh my gosh, that was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And thank you for leaving us with that reality,
Yes.
right? Because you got to love yourself,
Yes.
but you got to know yourself
Yes,
too. And so
yes.
once again, we can go on and on.
I
and
know,
on, but we're
right?
running out of
Like-
time. I know, but now they got to go to the
Yes.
conference.
Yes.
All right, Pastor Samuel, Nkama, everybody, and Juliet, Amoah. Once again, we were speaking about the Relationship Essentials Conference, which is taking place on Saturday, August 17th. Everyone is welcome from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And that's happening at the First Corinthian Baptist Church located at 1912 Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard in Manhattan. And for more information, you can visit relationship-essentials.com. All right, stay tuned. There's more open after the break.